Thank you so much, Pat. Well, we go from barbecue to dating this morning. And let's say that you have met a great guy. You are in this terrific relationship. You're thinking, this is the one. But at what point does Prince Charming go to Prince Harming? What do you do? And were the warning signs there all along? Well, I've got Amy Lewis Baird joining us this morning. She's a psychotherapist and author of From Charm to Harm, the guide to spotting, naming, and stopping emotional abuse in intimate relationships. And first of all, the stories in this book, they're all true, aren't they?
They're all true. They're all based on my experience in treatment with women, mostly women who have come in to see me.
What do you think is the trigger switch where they're just like, they go from, you know, I love you, I love you, I love you,
Yes.
to just this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
Yes. Well, with when you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, just starting out, the pursuit is usually very intense. They're trying to win you over, and they usually present an image that's really insincere. They're drawn to power and control, and they have to look good to get it. So it's very important to look for red flags, and they are there. Things like possessiveness, excessive demands on your time, accusations, blaming, not taking responsibility. So you have to be aware of those signs, because once you're in the relationship, it's difficult to get out.
And I think that sometimes the relationships are more extreme than others, as stated in the stories in the book here.
Yes.
But so many times you hear the question, and it's so common,
Yeah.
well, why didn't she just leave? Or why didn't he just leave?
Yes,
Why do they
yes.
stay?
That's a great question, and the answer is varied and complex. A simple answer, a more simple answer would be that when you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, everything is blamed on you, and your partner has a deep-seated need to control you. And so they're using tactics to whittle away at your self-esteem. Now, verbal abuse is obvious, and you can't always be obvious about manipulating someone. So you use underhanded tactics. And this whittles away at the partner's self-esteem to the point where they're mired in self-doubt, confusion, they blame themselves, they don't know what's going on, and they're sort of in a weakened state. And so they feel stuck, and they start rationalizing about the relationship. You know, maybe it's me, I need to improve myself, and it's almost like being mired in quicksand.
So quick to point the blame on the person who's being abused.
Yes.
Why do the abusers go after the person that they supposedly love the most?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, the people who are emotionally abusive are very manipulative, and I have a term in my book, actually, it's called sixth sense. S-I-C-K, sense. And what they do is they sense the vulnerabilities of the person that they want to get involved with. And so they can zero in on your weak spots and take advantage of those. People who have a need to please others, people who want to be accepted, people who have a lower sense of self or self-esteem. There are also some more complicated issues, such as you're drawn to what's familiar to you. If you had a father who was emotionally unavailable, you're going to be drawn to a partner who's emotionally unavailable. In an effort, sort of, this is subconscious, and this is where the psychology comes in, you recreate the same situation in your adult relationships that you had as a child in an effort to heal the pain that you're feeling.
And I was going to ask you, is this something that just continues on like generation after generation? Just because it's like, if I have been in a home like this, that this is all I know, and this is, in my mind, normal.
Yes, that's right. You do end up passing it on to your children because they see you in an emotionally abusive relationship, and the child could be emotionally abused as well. And they see that as their normal. They normalize it, and they think, okay, well, this is what a relationship's all about. So if you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, you're not doing your children any favors. You have to be a good role model for them. And when you're being mistreated, you have to stand up and say, whoa, I'm not going to take this anymore. I deserve more. And there are ways to do that, and I point that out in my book.
talk about the best way to use this book.
Yes. I wrote this book because over the years I had quite a number of women coming in to see me, and some men, and they complained of anxiety, depression, hopelessness, and lack of vitality, lack of energy. And after questioning them, I discovered that they were in emotionally abusive relationships and they didn't know it.
Didn't even know it.
That's how underhanded it is. And so I wrote this book to give them, they couldn't articulate what was happening to them. So I wrote this book to give them a language to describe what was happening. So this has specific terms, definitions, stories to illustrate.
Talk about the quizzes in here too.
With the quizzes, there are quizzes in there to help. As I said earlier, some people don't know they're in emotionally abusive relationships. So the quizzes, there's one, are you in an emotionally abusive relationship? And it's about...
No, I'm not at all, yeah.
When you take that quiz, I think the quiz can be very powerful because it's going to show you, oh yeah, he's doing that, and he's doing that, and he's doing that. And by the way, women can be abusive too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Quickly, how can we break the cycle? We've got 30 seconds.
Well, okay, first of all, you can be aware of what's going on. See things as they really are. Get informed about it. The second thing is to accept that it's not going to get better unless you do something about it. And the third thing is to take action. Find a counselor, a therapist who understands emotional abuse and get help for yourself and your partner.
Amy, thank you so much. This is great information. Again, the name of the book is From Charm to Harm, The Guide to Spotting, Naming, and Stopping Emotional Abuse in Intimate Relationships. It's available everywhere. We'll be right back with Eric and sports with more of the Morning Scramble.